a secret laboratory deep down in the bowels of the earth, this man carries out his fiendish research.
Is it safe?
Clear. But I'm gonna torture you anyway.
Hey, on, that didn't hurt, did it?
You can't let a man die so that you can discover something.
Doctor, he's gone.
Oh my God, don't stop now!
So, okay, chapter 1. A movie about a sex pervert basically spelling out his creepiness. No, don't want to come off too angry. Where was I? Okay, chapter 1. A successful auteur who we know now is an unforgivable... No, I don't want to give the man too much credit. Okay, how about this? Chapter 1. A despicable, repulsive child sex pervert... No, can't do that. Too honest. Bring on lawsuits. Where was I? Chapter 1. Example of a once great storyteller, befallen with his own acumen-inspired destruction. That can't do. After all, I want to get subscribers. I can't pretend to be a mental professional. All right, let's come up with a perfect introduction. Chapter 1. A man who was a beloved comic icon ended up breaking our hearts after we learned exactly what kind of monster he really was, as he hurt and destroyed his family with his disturbing and inexcusable behavior, but also kind of gave himself away 45 years ago. You can't say he didn't warn us.
She's 17. I'm 42 and she's 17.
Yes, it's been about 45 years since Manhattan, or as Woody Allen would call it, 35 years too old. And apparently nobody in this film has any problems with him essentially doing the 70s version of DMing high school graduates.
That's what I love about these high school girls, man. I get older, they stay the same age.
In this movie, if you've never seen it or tried to wipe it from your memory, is about a 42-year-old intellectual comic misanthrope, must have been really hard to get into character, dating a 17-year-old high school student. But in an insanely creepy 1970s New York, and I think to this day, you are allowed to date a 17-year-old no matter what the age discrepancy, as long as you yourself are over the age of 17. Apparently in 1970s New York, you would be breaking the law if you didn't have a permit to dry your clothes on a wire, but as long as she's over 17, you're perfectly allowed to rearrange the guts of a high school valedictorian. Fun fact, in the late 1880s, the age of consent in Delaware was 7 years old. So book your time travel flights now, R. Kelly.
My body's telling me yes.
Now, I could understand if Woody, playing Isaac, only had one date with Ernest Hemingway. Mariel Hemmingway, playing Tracy, at the beginning to show his insecure need to grow as an adult throughout the movie. But he dates her the entire runtime, and then breaks up with her, not out of moral reasons, but because he tamed some newer strange, thankfully older, and only after that said woman breaks up with him, goes running back to Tracy at the end of the movie to win her back. He only goes back to her when he has absolutely nothing left. Truly a romance for the ages. Yep, here's your graduation prize, Tracy. Insecure missionary and sleep apnea. This is for, and pardon the term, the thrust of this story.
She's got homework. I'm dating a girl who does homework.
Hopefully it's not a book report on Lolita. Now, in this movie, none of his friends think it's weird that a man who's on the verge of getting his AARP card is dating somebody that still hasn't gone to prom. Now, I know this is New York in the 1970s, but where the hell is Ed Koch and Travis Bickle to clean us up when you need them?
When I was your age, I was still being tucked in by my grandparents.
Well, they were really immature boys. I mean, they were nothing like you.
Hasn't he built a career out of being an emotionally impotent, selfish coward? Please tell me how he's so mature. But then again, he can offer her a 2-story apartment in Manhattan. And look, I know the things were cheaper than the cost of a small island like they are today, but that still can't be cheap.
Well, don't you have any feelings for me?
Well, how can you ask that question? Well, of course I've got nothing but feelings for you, but you don't want to get hung up with one person at your age. It's charming, and erotic, no question about that.
Yeah, sit right on that stool, please.
What about Tracy? Have you said anything to her?
What is it? I gotta get out of that situation. She's a young girl.
I'm so glad it seems like you're coming to your senses after taking a high school student to the bone zone about a half a dozen times. Sorry, I'm a doctor. I need to be more mature than that. After he took her to Pound Town a couple dozen times. Yes, that's much more clinical. It's not a good sign when the school bell gives you a Pavlovian response to come.
Oh,
like I'm not into this city I love. I can't even stand it. Oh, God. Oh, fuck.
Isaac starts planting his seeds. No, not those kind of seeds, you perverts. But planting seeds, rather, to start the breakup with Tracy.
You know, you'll be the toast of the town. You'll have a good time. Really, you shouldn't pass that.
So what happens to us?
Oh, you go to Vassar and he goes to Rikers.
So what do you want to do tonight? Anything. We'll go to the movies. I'll take you dancing if you want. Whatever is your night.
Anything.
They actually go through a carriage ride through Central Park.
Hey, quit making out with your daughter, you pervert.
What about you? What about your relationships with women? You never really told me much about your first wife.
My first wife was a kindergarten teacher.
I thought for sure he said his first wife was a kindergartner.
I care about you. Your concerns are my concerns. We have great sex.
When Isaac does actually officially go to break up with Tracy, she mentions that they have great sex. Need I remind you that Woody Allen wrote this movie and this is an avatar for himself. He should say, no, I'm horrifically incompetent and it's all an elaborate lie. I've told you cervix for manipulation.
But you're 17 years old. By the time you're 21, you'll have a dozen relationships. Believe me, far more passionate than this one.
Well, yeah, that checks out by default.
Well, don't you love me?
The truth is that I love somebody else.
I'm confused. Is Woody supposed to be the protagonist and star of this movie? Because his character really, really sucks. So you commit a borderline sex crime, groom her, cheat on her, and then basically convince her that she's the culprit.
Gee, now I don't feel so good.
Yeah, I've only manipulated you, a young girl whose brain isn't fully formed, because I'm dealing with a midlife crisis, only to dump you once I'm challenged by another pseudo-intellectual woman near my own age that makes my insecurities quake like a geyser of a repressed fuck fountain. Eventually Woody, or should I say Isaac, gee, it seems it's hard to separate these two, have some misgivings about breaking up with Tracy.
I think of all the women that I've known over the last years, when I actually am honest with myself, I think I had the most relaxed times and the most, the nicest times with her.
Yeah, a lot of people like kids, like Sharon, Lois, and Bram. But the difference between the two of you is that they never. When Isaac has no one left as Annie Hall. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. She has a different name in this movie. Mary. Yeah, that's it. Realizes he's too neurotic and short to fuck worth a shit, and she goes back to Isaac's buddy who she was dating before. Isaac has to stop and think about the child he let get away. Look, we've all been there, says Roman Polanski. So he does the most romantic thing he can think of. He tries to stop her from the most promising moment of her young life because he is not done using her and emotionally manipulates her to stay so his fragile ego can be satiated for at least a couple more days or weeks. Maybe months.
Guess what? I turned 18 the other day. I'm legal, but I'm still a kid.
Oh, Isaac, she just admitted that she knows she's a kid. You're in trouble. You're going to want to lay low for a while. I hope you didn't leave any DNA evidence or... Wait, what am I talking about? This is the 1970s. You could have left DNA evidence everywhere, and you probably did. Hell, you could have left your driver's license in her. You're not going to get caught, so never mind. The ending is open for debate, but it feels, at least for me, that Isaac feels that once Tracy returns, she'll be corrupted, jaded, cynical, and, well, kind of like him. He won't be able to use her as his death in Venice moment for catharsis. Using a child to help him deal with his emotional baggage of not only aging, but being a self-absorbed, arrogant, selfish New York bourgeoisie pseudo-intellectual that has to prey upon younger generations just to feel something. But she won't come back like that. She's not him. She'll be fine. He's sad about losing his trophy, and that's a really fucked ending, especially when you think about this is actually based on a real incident in Woody's life. So should he really adore New York if this is what it's made him into?